So everybody, we'll make some
Ade'wale,
more for the crack.
Auguste
Plays
has
the
learned of
last
another
state of
slave
the
ship to
actual
intercept.
DLC.
I beg
So
you
that's the last
to
mission.
reconsider.
A lot of everything's been
Special
piling up.
orders from your sometimes confident governor.
No, it is as I feared. With all the slaves you have freed, the French are in panic.
Let the French live in the fear they earned.
It is not so simple. Curfews are strict. Punishments are harsher and more frequent.
Get a boat,
You help
French
the
for
ones
this.
you freed, but at what cost to the ones you can't?
A small price for independence. The sooner Augustine's revolution comes, the sooner all slaves will live in peace as free people.
Gouverneur de Fayette threatens retaliation.
It's got raw
And he
peach
is
into the
behind
form of
this.
his
No,
French Revolution.
Ade'wale.
Not another word. I don't want to hear it.
So I'm on anger being spoken out from him, which I understand it. Again, short DLC, I like it for the most part with everything coming together with it. Like the concept, like the music, the soundtrack, and everything stuff that comes with it. But since I want to go and talk about something real quick about somebody else's opinion about it. Obviously, it's their opinion. They're rating the DLCs of Assassin's Creed, which obviously I haven't played all the DLCs. But two of them that he mentioned I have played, and that's Tyranny and King Washington. And this so far, even though I haven't finished it, you're gonna see about the ending, which is really the defining thing that I want to go and see. Otherwise, I must have decepted the slave ship. Okay, yeah. Either way, I was going to say in full that how he talked about it seemed a little bit weird. And again, to reiterate what I just said, obviously I have not actually finished it yet, but I'm just saying in the case of how it's like even not going for the sake of for the form of everything is like in this, which are that's how my voice is raspy, excuse me, my bad. The full correlate what I was saying though was that even though I haven't went with it and intercept the slave ship, doesn't mean that I don't understand at least a grand half of everything that's going on with it. And one of them was just more obviously subjective opinion about you don't play Assassin's Creed for superpowers and all this other stuff, even though I don't know how you expect Connor to counteract the Spear of Eden. I know other people have done other stuff that counteract Eden without using superpowers, but in the hypo capabilities that the Spirit of Eden is in, it's not going to be able to be countered in the same way other characters in different games probably have countered Eden's power, especially with every other Eden's power is different in multiple different cases times. It's being used in multiple transversal ways. But this man got devastated by this power of Eden and couldn't actually do anything. So Connor, for spiritual plot relevance, I feel like for what it is, isn't bad that he gets 3 superpowers that allow him to do stuff, especially if there's counterstones from using it. There's cons from using these powers, and he can't just use them almost all free will, but it helps from being able to do something against the power of Eden, especially it's a what-if world, it's a cross-universe, it doesn't need to make sense in the same plot indictment as the form of the original universe, and the fact that it was in a glimpse of all of one field, I don't think was necessarily bad, as it was supposed to be an open what-if Washington decided to become King Washington, degrade everything he was fighting for in the American Revolution, and become the exact definement of tyranny they felt like the great British were doing to America. And so with that being said, that is what this is about. Connor getting again spearheaded by the power of Eden, and what the Spirit of Eden has as a power, which I'm just saying as the consumption for what it actually is and what it does, is too ambiguous of power. It takes over anything you can do. Again, I know there's other people who have took on different powers of Eden, as is the apple of Eden, but the apple of Eden is ridiculously powerful, and from everything I've seen, is the most overwhelmingly powerful. It's too much of a ruckus for Connor to handle. His mom got decimated by it. It's faster than light. It has too much imbued power. He has shields, mind hacks, all consumption kind of power that would just be able to body someone like Connor or anybody else. Again, his mom got speared by it. What is he gonna do? He can't do nothing. There's no servant capability for him to actually be able to actually fight someone like him without using this shit. So for a form of fantasy and spiritual element, him having it isn't that bad. I get, obviously, Assassin's Creed back in this time, and for the most half, doesn't go super out-of-pocketly into fantasy. But I feel like when someone like him says that and all that, it kind of doesn't make sense to me. I forgot the YouTuber's name, but I just feel like that's kind of dumb when you look at the context, and most importantly, in the mishaps for what this is. He just says morally that Ade'wale seems boring, doesn't have that much to him in personality, which is pretty dumb to me. I get that he doesn't have the most vigorous personality, but he didn't have to for what he's doing. him as a protagonist and what he pushes for, especially since, again, he was a side character, and the side character now has his own story. A DLC about him pushing to fight for freedom and fighting for those who cannot fight for themselves. As a small hero thing, he had a personality. He's from Trinidad. He an African pirate, wants to fight for his brothers, feel freedom, and feel the means of independence put out for the seas. That's why Ade'wale works in this scenario. And so yeah, him not having the most dynamic, profound personality doesn't make him better or worse for the story it is. It's the same thing with Ade'wale. Ade'wale has charm, she has humor, she has charismatic, but at the same time, her core format for what she wants to do and a critical story has is save people, slavery, and freedom. Connor, I understand, but at the same time, he's a Native American boy who never got a feel for other stuff. He does have humor, he has integrity, he's very mad, aggressive, but for a good need. And there's a lot more about Connor that makes him underrated. I don't understand how people see him as boring if you don't actually look at him. Yeah, Connor, Ade'wale, three of them combined, they don't have the most anatomic, period out personality, but Ade'wale holds fearsomeness, he holds a counter to the point. Ade'wale has charm, and Connor has a staple point that runs in their format for what he needs. At the same time, I don't think a character needs to have so much about them in stand for personality. It takes them away. And Connor's whole goal, like Ade'wale, is not just freedom, but it's about doing right through this Assassin's Creed thing. Ade'wale wanting freedom, mainly for slavery, since you couldn't have been a slave, it wants to help people that are not as entitled to her or as privileged, is a better thing. And Connor doesn't just want freedom for his Native American brothers and to put for independence. He wants to make a world in his own eyes where things can work out. That's why he was so arrogant and arguably ignorant of the cause of what Washington did, because Washington holds ramifications to the American Revolution. Without King Washington having to exist within this case, for what happened in the actual Assassin's Creed 3 Tyranny King Washington DLC, that would be a whole different story, because of the account of Washington being the same within the power of Eden corrupting him. So that's why in Relapse, with him having a spirit power, helps him push out on somebody like Washington, because it helps him move different. And then at the same time, how someone like Connor has the power, has the skills and the knowledge to be able to help the other people that can't help himself in this scenario, but help others for better means. Because in his own right, he has a bunch of stuff going on with him in his own kind of conflict. He can help himself, but for people who cannot help himself, he can help them instead. Because he wants to make a world where his people, or people like him that are seen as down or could be put into slavery, could live, could have greatness, which is why he's underrated. He wanted what the Spangled American flag is supposed to represent to be the truth, where there's no monarchy, no dictatorship, no tyranny, where people have the capability to reflect and affect their own leaders, / vote for their leaders, that's even the right word, and help them out. He wanted to put for that, he wanted to strive for that. He wouldn't have the best means for his people and himself, because of kind of him being a Native American / Mohawk, and at this time their city is down. He wanted other people that maybe look different, had different color skin, whatever the case may be, not be on slave rackets, whatever. He wanted to get him pushed for the factors of being great, and how he was put into a worldview was very childish, because he wanted to live in a world where it could work out. Because Connor doesn't want to have to deal with the same BS that puts him down. And what American flag and what America is supposed to represent as whole is trying to be independence and freedom. That's what he's trying to make. That's what the entire American Revolution and what the entire periodic point for the most part of America is trying to be and has been. It's been trying to be that and has pushed for that. And Connor wants to make that the case. And again, even though Washington did something fucked up to him, technically, it isn't just about him. It's about pursuing a better means for the people. So even if Washington did something to Native Americans / his people that is a burden to him, and that is the crucible of his rage and conflict, does not take away the fact that if Washington dies, America's whole revolution and what the founding fathers strive in is not the case. He believes and he tries to have a hope and faith of what the founding fathers believe in, even if in his own right, his father, who's trying to back up the British for the Templar Order, says that the founding fathers are greedy white old men. They don't care about none of that. That doesn't matter to him. He cares about making the best for the people. And if that matters to them, okay. But if their actions prove to make sure there is no more slavery, there is no monarchy, and the Great British don't overrun the entire place on the frontier, that's all that matters to him. That's the only thing that he's been pushing for. Yeah, you could say that's selfish, but why wouldn't he do that? Who wouldn't do that? If you're like him and you try to make a country where you could breathe in and not just be slaughtered, raped, and pillaged, who wouldn't? That's all you can. You get one life in this world. You gotta make it count. As simple as that. So like, that's just why it's the way it is. And that's why I feel like when someone like him or someone else says that, it kind of pushes that away, and as a kind of a dumb opinion to me. Again, I get it. Ade'wale is not the most dynamic protagonist, but at the same time, there's a lot more to it. For now, it seems fine. I'm more caring about the actions and the conflict of it. Is it the most dynamic DLC? No, but I mean, I feel like for what it is, it's cool. Sorry to go on a tangent necessarily. I just want to go ahead and talk about that.
But when I sailed with Kenway, plunder was the only prize. Plunder or information leading to more plunder.
Did you never wish to intervene?
It is wise for a quartermaster to keep his wishes to himself, if he also wishes to remain as quartermaster. But yes, the thought did cross my mind. When the assassins offered me the opportunity to pursue more serious aims, I left the plundering behind.
But slave ships also?
No, for I am still an assassin, and I have found them again. I would not trade my years as a pirate for anything.
You enjoyed your freedom.
They hardened me for the work we do today. And when I am done, you will also have pirates to thank for your training.
Yes, Captain.
Fire! Ease off the wind! Here it goes! Fire! Ready to fire! 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 We can hit! Fire! Crew up! Crew up! Get out the way! Fire! Hey! Fire! Ready! Fire! Fire! Unfurl mains! Let's move! Off to Davy Jones! Stunts out! Let's get moving! They're firing a fire! Hey! Push! Fire! 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 Let me stop, Captain! Douse all but mains! Too close, Ade! Fire! Away! Let's hit us! Ready to fire, Captain! Fire! Tops, gallant, royal studs! There, Cannon! Get out of the way! Fire! Fire! Brace yourselves! Awaiting orders! Fire! Right there! Fire! 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 Hey! No! They'll sink the ship! If we don't act fast, Captain! Fire!
This here is destroying the station in general. I don't even care.
On your mark, Captain! Fire! Fire! I think we must act fast! We are ready!
Done for. See that immediately. Combo combo.
I think we must act fast!
So burning.
Reef the topsails and gallants! Get those blues up! You made your
Can't get off?
Captain, I worry. If we do not respond fast, it will be too late.
No, it's why I'm improvising.
I'll go below. Return to the ship and prepare to receive survivors.
As fast as possible. Gotta roll. Story, bro, this place is actually sinking, bro. Fuck. Why, bro? God. Bro, I'm on a whole fucking time limit, bro.
Go now!
Actually dead though. Come on.
Go now!
Fucking actually going liberate, bro. Out of here, bro. I'm not careful with the slave, but there's no way, bro. We in the rain. The whole boat is topping over, bro. Bro, shit. Damn. So they're deep into so many of these slave cocoons, bro. Sheesh, man. It's a piece of me, brothers. I don't know if I could have did this one that faster or not. I just feel like at the end of the day, how much case of the water was brewing in wouldn't have changed anything. Because I didn't go and give up, though. Dang. Save y'all. Terrible with dead brothers.
Gouverneur de Fayette. I thought I understood his indifference. I did not anticipate the extent of his heartlessness.
You tried to warn me. We are all guilty. The governor will pay with his own life. My creed demands that I see to it.
C'est la main. C'est raté. Revenge is called comfort. Once the fire is gone, another tyrant will take his place.
His death must give this generation of warriors hope. They must not abandon the goal of independence.
And the death of these souls? Some barely new life.
We will always mourn them.
It's a piece to him. I like that. The most part of the point of it. Even do that takes less than 50 damage during the naval fight. I just feel like a downfall fit. We tried, that's all that matters, and we try to push for the biggest means with that being said.
Crowd it all on!
I'm pulling all the way back over here. Moon hideout. So over to it. I'll be over in vain. Vezi, nu înseamnă difficulties left day. Hey, what's it? I think he's last
Believe it is time. The governor grows complacent. His guards lazy. They have already forgotten the terror they wrought. I will remind them.
Once you have removed the fire, you will no longer be safe here.
Nor will the Marines be if I stay.
I got your code within those blue hair.
To see you go.
We will meet again to celebrate Maroon independence.
You know well the grounds of the governor's residence. Choose your moment. Do not get caught.
Welcome to Feed, getting caught. The raid slayers also help the resistance gain access to more supplies. You push free to help out slaves is good. Now also like it is a pure fact. That's not even about you being black, you just help out slaves. Okay, the governor on the mission. Obviously I can read this because how that look. Still look weird. I'm gonna look at the governor on the mission grounds.
Attends là!
Over at the mansion.
They hide the ghost ship.
Brothers, they did not survive the journey.
Torturing.
I will personally find and kill every last one of you
You
until
don't
I
gotta
find
fuck
my
with him with
answer.
his gun.
Where is the hideout of the Maroons?
Go high ground. On top of him. I'll shoot him. All people top.
It's him!
Fuck, no. Bitch! Crunch. You know how deserved to you. But a Jason Voorhees on your ass, boy.
Who will come to your rescue? Your slaves? The overseers who follow your orders? Pathetic. What kind of man does not fight for himself? Why? I have killed many men on principle, but never have I wanted one to suffer as much as you. To understand what it is to gasp and beg for your life, like the innocents you drowned.
You mean those slaves? That ship? But they're not even human. Without the discipline and guidance of their masters, they turn to rebellion. Murder.
His mind is so pulsated with ignorance, he can't even understand how much trouble he's in. To drown the depths of fiery hell. Remember the bitch bag of a person, the branding iron, 4 goes, the blue goes. Could do that easily from the front. That's why we still push through. It's not a big deal. But still, my man's whole mind, everything he talks about at that last second is still in a state of downform ignorance.
It is done. He suffered badly. I made sure of it.
Have you come to say goodbye?
For now. But not without giving you this.
Oh.
After all this time, you lost interest.
You're not worried it will fall into Templar's hands?
I fear worse things now. No Templar plot can equal your wrath.
You tried to make light at a time like this?
Only to lighten my sorrow at leaving.
You will return to your Brotherhood of Assassins, and whatever duty they assign you.
I will return, yes. But I feel a tide changing within me. I'm no longer young. I must devote my energy to those who struggle for freedom. I will use my conviction and my creed to defend them alongside anyone who will help me.
I have no one left to serve us to.
With the music coming together in it, the high rise to be
I will
better,
keep it
to
for
push to
memory.
do that. And even though we freed a bunch of slaves, devoured those of ignorance, and it's in the last calling case, we did bigger things. With that being said, some assassins can't have peace, but at least I could pursue to make peace for others.
Marche nan nuit to m'pa gen chance. Marche a de la sirène malè rive mwen. Marche nan nuit to m'pa gen
That is it for a good DLC. Again, it's not the most inanimate. Ade'wale doesn't have a super inanimate peak case of personality. The point that he's trying to strive with in the sorrow and the rest of anger, that's at the same time burrowed on somebody like the governor, who's an ignorant twat who decided to go ahead and cling to devastation on people is because of them seeming not human, not the same. There's a bigger meaning to this. And this music bumping, bro. I just like it because I like the fundamental of Ade'wale. It's cool seeing and feel someone like Ade'wale in a bigger term. Can't wait to see more than him in the case of what he has. Because I know he's going to be in Assassin's Creed Rogue, so I can't wait to see more to him and the full of him. I don't know. I don't really have like a big rate. I just feel like it's solid. Like if you want to see somebody that's assassin, pushing for freedom, is a nigga, no racial, not even in an ignorant sense, but in a form of a nigga, just a saying, trying to fight for his brothers and sisters and make sure they are not dead, pushing for freedom. Because when I say nigga, again, I'm not trying to say in a racial way, but I'm just saying like my normal tongue. A person trying to make greater means for other people and not have the ear of sorrow and anger cloud his mind, but having so much anger built inside of him because now he actually has the power and the run of goodness in him to be able to push, to help the people in need like that. You feel what I mean? So that's why I feel like it's just fire for what it is, and I feel like he doesn't need to be a character that holds a big staple personality. He works for what he has, and that's what I like about it. That's pretty much it. I'll give like a solid 7 out of 10. It's alright. It's alright. Those other threes is mainly not that much else. It's short. Kind of been the same thing. It's not repetitive. It's just not super spot on and inanimate, if that makes sense. That's really all I have to really say about it at the hardcore arc. And like, yeah, I just like it. It is what it is. It adds some new changes. It's pretty much the same. It's really like that's all like the cons to it, but it's still fine. You know, it's light. It's light. It's light. It's something else. That's it. That's all I have to really say for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed as always. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. As soon as we get power some more, so I'm gonna go and check out Ac4 Full Black Flag online. See if I like it. If I don't show anything of that, it means I didn't like it. Maybe we'll see it from story. Simple as that. I love y'all. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace out, mommy. Love y'all.